Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the channel. Thank you for clicking on the video, and today we're going to be talking about Godzilla -1. This film follows Koichi Shikishima along with all of Tokyo as they have to face off against the Titan Godzilla. When it comes to Godzilla, I'm not really like a super stan. I haven't really seen a lot of the films at all. I've only seen the Gareth Edwards one from 2014. Of course, I've seen the other MonsterVerse films to follow that. Yeah, I think this film is great. You know, I've heard people not be too crazy about it. They think the human stuff is a little bit slow and they feel like Godzilla's barely in it. It probably should be called featuring Godzilla. I don't really disagree, but I feel like this movie is really awesome. I really appreciate the acting and the direction, and I feel like whenever Godzilla does show up, it doesn't just feel earned, but it also feels like whenever he's on screen, it's a big payoff. You know what I mean? It never feels like we're just waiting and waiting and waiting and then we get something lackluster. Now, as far as the other MonsterVerse films, yeah, I'm not really that crazy about them. Kong Skull Island has grown on me. I didn't love it the first time I saw the film, but frequent revisits have, you know, shown me the light a little bit. I see why a lot of people love that film. King of the Monsters, I don't even know what they were trying to do there. I liked Godzilla vs. Kong. I liked it. I had a lot of fun with it. So yeah, not a huge Godzilla person, not a huge kaiju fan in general. Like films like Pacific Rim and things like that, I think they're cool. I'm just not super into it the way a whole lot of other people are. So when this trailer was first coming out, I was like, oh, they're doing another Godzilla movie. Okay. And I saw the trailer and I was like, whoa, this shit looks kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. This is one of those times where I didn't really have any anticipation for a film, and then I saw a trailer and it completely flipped. Like I completely just gained this huge amount of anticipation for this film because it just looked so great. Yeah, this movie is pretty freaking badass. It's pretty great. The first thing I actually want to talk about are the human characters, because I know going into these movies, the one thing that we all dread going into these things is, I hope we don't spend too much time with the humans. I hope we don't spend too much time. And honestly, that's just the fault of a lot of the very bad monster movies we've gotten in the past that have just wasted so much time with shenanigans with human characters. I am very happy to report though that the human characters and the human element in this film is beautifully told. I'm not going to try to pronounce the names of the actors because I can't. Whoever's playing this dude, Koichi Shikishima, he's great. He's absolutely fantastic in this film. This character is a guy, he's a kamikaze pilot, and this film takes place near the end of World War II. And basically this guy, he doesn't really want to kill himself. So this guy goes back home to Tokyo to find his home has pretty much been destroyed. His parents are gone. There's just rubble everywhere and just destruction, and there's so many people dead. And he finds himself with this orphan child. He also comes across this young lady named Sumiko, or I'm sorry, he comes across this young lady named Noriko, who is also a survivor of, you know, the raids that happened in Tokyo. And basically they decide to raise this baby together. They name her Akiko, and they basically take it as their responsibility to take care of this child. I don't know. I really felt the drama in this film. I really felt the theme of what it's like when war, like what war does to people. This is always something interesting to explore, whether in film or shows or books or whatever. It's beautifully acted, it's beautifully written, and it's beautifully directed. I mean, I've never seen a Takashi Yamazaki film before, but the direction in this film is beautiful. It's great. And that's without even talking about the main reason we're here, which is friggin' Godzilla. Now, this film opts for more of the approach of like a Jaws or even like the 2014 Godzilla film that I mentioned earlier, whereas you don't see him a whole bunch. You know, it doesn't really go the Kong Skull Island King of the Monsters route, Godzilla versus Kong route, where you see the monster like literally every other scene. It's not like that. You see him, and then you don't see him for a while, and then you see him and it's crazy, and then you don't see him for a while. And whenever Godzilla is on screen, this film is just incredible. Godzilla looks so badass, and the way that they depict him, they don't depict him as a character. They depict him more as just this killing machine, just this entity of destruction. It just shows up and just starts fucking shit up. That's all it is here to do. And I thought that was just wonderful. And when this thing is just walking up and just walking through cities, walking through people and just tail swiping shit, and it just seems like this machine that was only created to destroy. It's like if you took Stitch from Lilo and Stitch and made it rated R and removed Lilo. It's just this monster that's just here to cause chaos, and the chaos is definitely chaotic. It's awesome to see this on the big screen. It looked incredible. The sound design was perfect. Speaking of sound design, the score, oh my God. Like, again, I'm not a huge Godzilla fan, but I did recognize that some of the musical bits are those classic, like old school 1900s Japanese Godzilla music, you know what I mean? And that shit hit perfectly coming out of those IMAX speakers. Oh my God, I was in heaven. I loved it. There was never a moment in this film where I was like, damn, that looks fake. Damn, that doesn't look real. Damn, that just took me out of the film. And that's not to say that Godzilla looks realistic in the film. You know, it's a big ass lizard fucking tearing through Tokyo. I mean, it's not gonna look realistic, but the goal is to make it look badass and to marry it with the, you know, the other things that you have going on in the film so that it feels like a consistent experience. It feels like the money is well spent rather than just thrown on the screen with a whole bunch of effects everywhere. I love that this film shows restraint. And, you know, I'm not saying there's not any badass moments. Trust me, there is. Specifically when we first see Godzilla in Tokyo and he does his signature move where them shits on his tail and his back, I don't know what they're called, those spikes or whatever, them shits start lighting up and he's like, nigga, y'all ready for this atomic breath shit? And when he uses this shit, I'm talking about, I was in awe. My jaw was on the floor. Godzilla was so badass. This is that Godzilla you don't want to fuck with. I don't know who dude is in that. I know y'all saw that new trailer for Godzilla and Kong, A New Empire. These motherfuckers charging into battle like fucking Avengers, nigga. Nah, this is not that Godzilla. This is that Godzilla that motherfuckers are terrified of. Like, I do have one critique with the film. Like I said, Godzilla is not in it like the whole time. You see him and then he's, you know, not in it for a while, and then he does show up and it's badass. I did feel like the second to last time he shows up, in between that and the last time he shows up, I did feel like the film slowed down a little too much. I felt my eyes starting to get a little heavy. I started to feel like, all right, now it's been a minute since we've seen Godzilla. I love the human drama. I love the storytelling. Like I said, I love the writing. I love the performances. I love the characters. This movie is great. I just do feel like a lot of movies these days, I don't think it needed to be as long as it was. I think 210, I think you could have chopped it to a cool 150. I could see a 150, 155 cut of this movie that would have been a little tighter, a little more consistent. I think it would have hit harder, but it's a minor complaint. I barely spoke about Koichi's partner in the film, Noriko, who is helping him raise this child and take care of this baby. She was fantastic as well. She is a very emotional center of the film. And I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys. I'm just going to say, while I wasn't moved to the point of tears in this film, I definitely was choking up in a couple of parts. Like, listen, I love that 2014 Godzilla film. I feel like Gareth Edwards really put his best foot forward with that film. I don't know though. I might have a new favorite Godzilla movie right now because Godzilla Minus One is fantastic. I'm going to give this film a strong A. So yeah, have you seen the movie? What did you think about it? Did you love it? Did you dislike it? Let me know in the comment section. Hit me with a subscribe. Hit me with a like. I promise the videos are about to come. You see, I got a new setup. You see, I got a mic stand. You know what I'm saying? I ain't just take a break for no reason. I was working, dog. I was working, but we about to get back on the grind. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Take it easy.